for years, I've been updating on the progress on the AVGN movie. And I don't have to much longer. In fact, this might be my last one, or one of my last ones at least, because the movie's done. Well, it's the work isn't done, but the movie's done. Now begins the whole phase of showing it, and people have seen it. And basically, the last update I did was in June, and I think you should see that one. If you haven't seen that update, see that one, because that explains everything. That was the video where I announced what we were doing. I announced that it was going to be screening in certain theaters. We'd be taking it on tour, and then I talked about that there'd be a DVD and a digital release. I explained the entire release strategy of the movie. So that explained everything. So there isn't really much left to update other than the movie's out and people are seeing it. So it's basically just like a little cause for celebration. Well, it's a big cause for celebration because this was years and years and years in the making. So I just wanted to give you an update, just to tell you that it went really well, that everything happened to plan. We screened it, and but why talk about it? How about I'll show you instead. So I'm going to be posting a separate video, a montage of clips from all the different screenings so far. So there'd be that, and it's going to have some music in it from the movie that nobody's heard yet. This will be the first time hearing some of the music by Bear McCreary that you'll hear in the movie, and it's just a small sneak peek of it, and there will be a soundtrack album. He is going to release a soundtrack, so it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to post more footage from the Q&As and all that stuff later at some point. I don't know when yet because there's a lot of footage to sort through. A lot of footage. In fact, all the footage of the movie plus the behind-the-scenes stuff is almost filling a 12 terabyte hard drive right now. So it's a lot of stuff to work on for the DVD. Yeah, so basically the screenings went really awesome, though. Just to let you know is that it was like fans got the chance to meet other fans. So it was like a mass gathering. It was like throwing a party, basically, again and again and again. And then there were screenings that I wasn't there for because there were times when the movie would be showing in lots of theaters at the same time on the same night. And it was a weird feeling because you know how when you post a video on the internet or on YouTube, you see numbers, you see comments. You know that there's all these people out there in the world somewhere, but you'll never meet them all, in real life. But with this movie, when there were times when I wasn't at the theater, it was the same kind of feeling, except just knowing the fact that all these people were gathered in the same room, all in the same space. So it was crazy. So yeah, it was very exciting. And then basically, just to stop and think for a minute, I made a movie. I made a feature film. That's what I've been trying to do my entire life. I finally did it. Finally paid off after all these years of practice and years and years of learning to write, learning to shoot, learning to edit, and all the weekends and all the hours put into it when I was a kid, and finally doing something as big and ambitious as this project. So I've finally done it, and just the advice that I'd give to everybody is that it can be done. It is proof now that you can make a movie without a major studio support. You can do it independent. You can do it yourself. So, like, fans can pay for a movie to get made that they want to see. It is direct communication from the filmmaker to the audience. It is a movie made by fans for fans. Now, everybody's situation is going to be unique, and I spent, like I said, my whole life working on this, working on movies in general, and then this one, of course, took many years also. So it isn't just luck. It's partly luck, but it's mostly hard work. If movie making's something you want to do, then you just do it, and it just takes a long time of lots of experimenting, lots of trying all kinds of different things, and then you never know what's going to happen. Like I would have never been able to make this movie without the fans, and I wouldn't have had the fans without all the years of practice and hard work developing my craft. And YouTube was the final piece of the puzzle. Once YouTube came into existence, then it was like, okay, now I have the audience, the platform. Everything came together by then. So just a long time in the making. And also, whatever you choose to make as a movie, you know, it's not common for independent, low-budget films to be action-adventure movies. This is an hour, 55-minute movie, and usually it's something a lot shorter. It's something with less characters, with usually more drama or comedy. But a really big genre film like this is very ambitious for an independent film. So if I would have known this would have taken me years and years to make this movie, I probably wouldn't have done it. But then, you know, I realized halfway through, it's like, oh boy, well, there's no turning back. Now we got to make it. And now I'm really glad. Now I'm glad that it's done. I'm really happy with how the movie came out. Couldn't be more happy with it. But when you make a movie, you got to pick your own battles. You can choose how ambitious you want it to be. I always use Kevin Smith as an example, that when he made his first feature, which was Clerks, whole movie takes place in one location, convenience store. And that's it. So if you got, as long as you have a convenience store, then you know you're set, you're good to go. But when you write a movie like the one that we did, every scene is in a different location. It's always moving forward. It's always in a different place. So we're not reusing a lot of the same places. And we have, you know, a cockpit of a plane. We have a tank, and we have a shot where we need a missile coming up. Then we need a shot with a UFO, and then we need a shot of a tank going off a cliff. And then it's just like it's just shot after shot after shot. And I thought the whole thing could get done really fast because it was like lots of people working on it, so we'll just get lots of people working on it and then it'll all get done. But no, if it's an independent film, then most likely you're going to be involved every step of the way. So even if lots of people are working on it, you're still going to be working on it too. So basically, yeah, just choose your own battles. If you choose to do something as ambitious as this, you could be working on it for many years, and I'm proof of that. But it's done now, but the work isn't over. So that's something I want to make clear to everybody, is that I am still busy as fuck. I'm almost as busy now as when I was shooting, because now we have the theaters going on, basically. We're taking the movie on tour, and then we have the digital release coming up, and then we have the DVD and the Blu-ray, and in between all this, I'm trying to work on Monster Madness. So I'm trying to do everything at once right now. I'll talk about each of these individually. The theaters was very stressful to book all these theaters that we did. We tried to do as many as we could in a short time span. The time it took to book all these theaters, it's not just simple. It's not just make a phone call to the theater and say, oh, hey, you know, can you show this movie? All right, cool. Where do I send the check to? You know, it's so when you rent all these theaters, there's just like, you know, there's contracts and there's many phone calls, and it's basically, it's the best way I could explain it all the work that went into this is like planning a wedding. And because I can do that because most people can probably relate to that. More people have gotten married than have made films, I guess. So when you're planning a wedding and there's like so many little things that go into it, and you know, like so many different things. The theaters was like who's gonna rip the tickets, who's gonna, you know, do this and that, and my wife did lots of it. Kyle did lots of it. Sean Keegan did the premiere, and Pat the NES Punk did the one in San Diego for Comic-Con. So we had lots of people all help them, but we had to just spread it out. And even then, every single person was just maxed out with their time. Everybody put so much time into organizing these events that there wasn't time for anything else in anybody's lives. My wife was working so hard on it and was always on the phone and in her email all the time. Every day there'd be some questions or something that we have to sort out, and she'd talk to me about it. And whenever we were both talking about it, my daughter would get upset, you know, that we're talking about something other than her, you know, we're not paying attention, and she's right there and she's crying and screaming. So when she's screaming, we have to raise our voices over the sound of the kid. So it's just this constant screaming going on in my house, and it just drove us fucking insane. Like, you want to make a movie, you know, you make yourself insane because of it. It just consumes your entire life. And everything down to the actual days of screening the movies. There'd be technical problems in the theaters. We would go in there first, and we would test out the Blu-ray to screen. And we would go up in the projection booth, and we'd talk to the projectionist, and we'd go down, then we'd listen to it. And sometimes there'd be an issue, like all kinds of different things. You never know what it could be. The audio could be out of sync or something like that. So we'd go down there and be like, oh, crap. And we'd go back up to the projection booth, and we tweak some things, and we'd run back down and look at it again. And then we'd go back up, and it was just this constant running around to the last minute before some of these screenings would happen. And then after all that, people keep asking, are there going to be any more screenings? Are you going to show the movie here? Are you going to show the movie there? I'd love to. I mean, like I said in the June update, we'd like to bring it everywhere we can. You know, we want, you know, we've done the United States and we've done Canada, but we'd like to bring it to other countries around the world. But at a certain point, like, we don't have any more time to do it. Like, so we just maxed ourselves out with every possible minute of spare time we have. We don't have time to do anymore. And we could keep it going if we wanted to do it for more years. We could spend years on this whole thing and bring it all around the world. But at a certain point, it's time to just end it, put it online so everybody can see it at once. So we set a deadline for ourselves of September 2nd, and that's what we're sticking to. Is that on September 2nd, it's coming out, digital release, or VOD, video on demand, or whatever you want to call it. The last big screening, though, there is one more. The last big screening before the digital release is going to be PAX, Penny Arcade, on August 29th. And so if you're going to PAX, then you'll want to see that, because that's going to be our last huge screening. So so the digital release itself is a whole bunch of work. There's contracts and phone calls and everything that goes into it. Technical stuff, like I'm still trying to figure out the technical end of like how to compress the movie down into a small enough file to upload where it doesn't look like shit, you know? So a lot of stuff like that. And choosing the service to go with. We're going to do a bunch of them eventually. We're trying to do as many. There's many different services that do movie on demand, you know, so we're going with as many as we can eventually, but we're like some of them take 60 days to process, and that puts us way past our deadline. So it's like, okay, well, that one's going to have to be later then. So we are going to have something on September 2nd, but it's going to be one. We're going to go with one on that day, and hopefully we're going to have a bunch of options for it, like where you could buy it or you could, you know, rent it, so you know you can watch it one time or whatever. So we want to have as many options as possible for everybody before then the DVD and the Blu-ray comes out. Because then it's like, you know, the digital release is temporary, but then, you know, anybody who wants to wait, you know, it'll be out on the DVD and the Blu-ray, but we don't know when that's going to be yet. I'm hoping the DVD and the Blu-ray will be out in November or December at the absolute latest. So we're not really sure yet what's going on with that, and there's going to be a ton of bonus features. Like this is the big mother load. This is the end-all package. This is there's going to be outtakes. We're going to have there's deleted scenes, some alternate scenes, some extended edits, you know, but there's going to be a documentary all about the making of the movie. So basically, I want to let you in on all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't want to leave anything out. I want it to be like, from beginning to end, just shows you the whole production and everything that went into making this movie. And that's probably going to be a feature film in itself. So, yeah, it's going to be, who knows, an hour and a half. It's a huge project. So I'm trying to do all that, you know, and it's going to take at least a month from the time the DVD is done. By the time everything's done, it's going to take like a month to manufacture it all and to get it out. So, yeah, there is a lot of work to do right now. So I'm just insanely busy right now. And that's the update. And then after all that, everyone asks when the sequel's coming out. No, there's no sequel. It's like asking when are you going to have another kid after you just had one? It's like, got to give it some time on that one. The idea is there. The idea for a sequel, yeah. Like, I know what would happen. It would be awesome. But do I want to spend another 8 years working on it? No. What I want to do next is I want to spend more time with my daughter. I want to get back to making web videos because they're so much fun, and I would love to get back to just normal, And meanwhile, I'll be working on the next film because I've narrowed all the ideas I have. I've narrowed them down to like six features. So I'm going to pick one of the 6. It seems like every month another one gets added, and I'm like, oh no. So I want to I'll pick which one I think is the most feasible and which one that I love the most, and I'll begin writing that for the next one. I have all kinds of notes, all kinds of outlines written and things like that. So I can't wait to work on the next movie. So that's the question for what's next. But yeah, the movie is now going to be out soon, digital release, and now it takes on a life of its own now. So you're the last phase of this whole process is to determine what life the movie has, which parts of the movie become your favorite parts, or what kind of quotes become memorable lines or whatever. You just take it on its own. I hope it has a cult status after this, and that it'll keep being watched over time. I advise to see it with a group if you can get some friends together and have like a little party. It's definitely a crowd kind of movie. It's meant to be seen with a group of people. So I'm really happy to be bringing it to the world now, and I can't wait for everybody to see it. So everything's been awesome. So thanks a lot.